Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to a brand new video. Today I bring you a full face of a drugstore and high-end makeup I will forever repurchase. If I run out of these products, I will run to either the drugstore, Walmart, Target, whatever, or Sephora or Ulta and repurchase these items because that is how much I genuinely love them. So I handpicked a few products from both the drugstore and a little bit more on the pricier side. Why do I always choke when I'm on camera? Oh my gosh. Anyways, grab your cafecito. Today I'm drinking an energy drink because it was just a rough day, okay? So I love you guys. Grab your cafecito and let's jump right into today's video. Woo. I need an energy drink today because I had such a hard night, guys. Oh my gosh. I feel like I hardly slept. So good. I am not an energy drink girly, but these Alani drinks have me hooked. I tried them once and I'm like, I'm not drinking them every day. I just drink them whenever I feel like it. And last night I feel like I hardly slept. This is a drugstore product that I will forever repurchase. The e.l.f. Brow Laminating Gel. I've spoken about this a few times on my channel. If you love that laminated brow look without that like crusty feeling, this is the product for you because it lays down the brows so nicely. And again, it doesn't leave them crunchy or crusty or musty or dusty or anything. It just lays them down. And my favorite thing, I think, excuse me, I forget to mention this, but I love that it's still flexible even after you lay your brows down. It still gives you that flexibility of like moving them around, which to me is like my favorite part. So I like to shape them moving up, and then once I have them shaped all the way to the top, then I bring them down. Then I use a little spoolie brush to lay them down. That is a brow. It will not move. It'll stay in place. And then I just clean up around. But, I mean, the difference. Another brow product, obviously from the drugstore, that I will forever repurchase unless I find something better, is the NYX Brow Lift and Snatch Tint Pen. Oh my gosh. This is probably like my third or fourth product. It is that good. If you're trying to learn how to create faux hairs, this is the pen for you. It is so easy to use and it just, I don't know, it really creates the most beautiful, effortless brows. So for my primers, I have a few. I just couldn't narrow it down to just like one or two. So I'm going to give you a few options of like products that I would just definitely repurchase over and over. This one is a newer addition to my makeup collection, but it has quickly become like my most used product. Like look at how much I've dug into that. This is the brand new newer Milani Conceal and Perfect Blur Out Smoothing Primer. I love this one because it truly does do a great job at smoothing out the skin. Like I don't even know if you guys can see it, but it just blurs out your skin so nicely. It's very similar to the Huda Beauty full filter primer, where it just creates that like flawless filter like effect on the skin. And then it has a really nice cooling sensation. And then for sticky, grippy primers, of course, I'm always going to repurchase any e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, either the niacinamide, the one that contains hyaluronic acid. I would repurchase this one over and over, but this is a limited edition. So I'm not going to put this on today, but for today's sake, I'm going to use this one since I am almost out of it. Look at how much I've used. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip Niacinamide Primer, which I'm sure you guys have heard of and used and love. This is the perfect primer to apply if you need your makeup to stay on all day. It creates that tacky base, so it really grips on to your makeup. I prefer these way more than the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer. I don't know, it's just they do the same thing for the same or for a lot cheaper. I was gonna say for the same price. So I would definitely repurchase this. Like once I am out of this, I might repurchase it only because I have two backups of the Jelly Pop Grip Primer. What? Jelly Grip Pop. Oh my gosh, you guys know what I mean, right? And then for my high-end primer, this is one that I don't think I can live without. Once you know how to use it, it works for you so well, and that is the One Size Oil Sucker Extreme Mattifying Alkaline Primer. Okay, if you are an oily skin girly like me, this is a primer that you have to use in your routine. I like to apply it now to the back of my hand, and then I'll pick it up with my finger and I'll go in and dab it in my skin. You just have to work with it quickly because it is alkaline powder, so it dries really fast, and you have to make sure that you blend it, otherwise you can get a little patchiness. But oh my gosh, this primer, look at how immediately it mattified my skin. I had the hardest time breaking it down to foundations. So I have two Drugstore and two high-end foundations that I will forever repurchase, and we're gonna mix them all. For my Drugstore foundation, I want to see if you guys can guess which one. Yep, Maybelline Fit Me. This one, oh my gosh, such a good product. So I'm gonna use this little tool that I have, and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of each foundation. And then the e.l.f. Soft Glam Foundation. Oh my goodness, this is such a gorgeous foundation. The finish is like pretty, it's not super glowy, which for me is perfect. And then for my high-end foundation, this is actually what, my second or third bottle of my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. Again, this one is very similar to the Maybelline matte foundation. Very pretty. I am in the shade Warm Beige, and there's something about this foundation that just literally looks like you have a filter on your skin. And I will repurchase it once I am done with this, which is pretty close. I think I'm like this left in the foundation. And the last foundation, this is my staple foundation for the summer. If you have oily skin, you absolutely need the Urban Decay Face Bond Foundation. The only thing I don't like is that their foundation undertones are really odd. So I have a hard time finding one that like really like matches me. But oh my gosh, this is probably the most mattifying foundation I have ever tried in my entire life. And that's saying a lot because I've tried a ton. So I'm gonna mix these. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of foundation. From here, and there you go. Oh my gosh, let's see how this foundation looks all together. All these foundations look together because some of them are glowy. I have, you know, a more matte one, I have a softer one, some are a little lighter, some are a little darker. That is actually a pretty good match. You know, the weird thing is that I have a hard time matching most of my foundations because my neck and my face don't match my body. I feel like I'm darker in my arms and the rest of my body versus my face and my neck. So I always have a hard time matching myself. I feel like my face is too light compared to the rest of my body. Am I the only one? The skin is skinning. It looks so good, but unfortunately I do have a lot of foundation left over, which makes me really sad. I hate wasting anything, but we're moving on. I am applying my concealer. Y'all, unfortunately, I don't have a drugstore concealer that I genuinely love. I was looking through my collection and I have Milani, I have some e.l.f., I have NYX, but none of them are products or concealers that I'm like, if I run out of this one, I'm gonna go repurchase it. They're just not giving, okay? So I need the drugstore to step it up with their concealers in 2025 because drugstore concealers, high-end concealers are expensive, okay? And look, we know for a fact that the drugstore can do it just as good, if not better, than high-end, but I'm giving it to my Anastasia Magic Concealer. I am still running low. I don't know how I still have product in here, but I do, and I'm going to use every last drop. So that's going to be my concealer that I will repurchase forever and ever. And for bronzers, again, I have drugstore and high-end. For my drugstore, cream bronzer. Well, this is more of a liquid bronzer, I guess. So e.l.f. Oh, they killed it. They killed it with this formula. It is so creamy. It is pigmented, and they have both warmer and like more cool undertones. I would say that this is like leaning almost neutral. I'm also gonna use this to contour my nose right here. And then for my high-end bronzer, the LYS bronzer, oh my gosh. I am so glad that they brought this back because this was sold out for months. I remember when this went viral and everybody wanted this bronzer and I could not get my hands on it until like literally 4 or 5 months after the hype the hype went down. That's when I was able to get my hands on it. I also really love the Rare Beauty Always Sunny bronzer, but if I had to pick between that one and this one, I would pick this one. I'm going to use my favorite brush to blend out my bronzer, which is the Lip Bar dual-sided little brush, and we're going to just blend. I've been trying to like keep my bronzer up here and not blend it down so much because sometimes I feel like I give myself a little helmet bronzer and it's not cute. So we're just gonna blend that out and I'm gonna let that concealer just sit for a few more minutes, which is why I love this Anastasia bronzer or concealer, is because it doesn't get all ugly or it doesn't sit on the skin even if you let it just stay there for a while. Look at how beautifully that blends. Let's go in with a concealer. I'm gonna start off with a chin and blend this. Look at how much coverage this freaking concealer gives you. I always go in with way too much, knowing dang well that I don't need that much, but here I am applying a freaking kilo of concealer. Why am I like this, huh? Do you guys do the same? Because honestly, I'm sick of myself. I'm sick of myself. Where was I? I literally stepped away for like 40 minutes because I had to make dinner. So I have no idea where I was, but I'm guessing we're moving on to blush because I have my bronzer and my concealer. So for my blush, I chose, of course, e.l.f. For my liquid blush at least. They don't miss, okay? I'm telling you, e.l.f. doesn't miss when it comes to blushes. I know there's other good blushes out there, but for me, these are blushes that I will forever repurchase. And listen, I probably won't need to repurchase any of them anytime soon because the pigment on these are incredible. For high-end blushes, for me personally, I feel like Rare Beauty really like set the tone for liquid blushes. I think that's when like the big liquid blush trend started. I don't have a lot of them. I only have 4 maybe, and then these smaller ones, and I'm using the shade Bliss just because I wanted something to kind of off-tone what I have right now. But these blushes from Rare Beauty are some of my personal favorite. I know, again, that there's tons of like high-end blushes that are probably the same, but for me, these are the ones that I've tried. That is a goal for 2025, is to try more high-end makeup. I feel like 2024 I really just stuck with Drugstore, which there's nothing wrong with that because my channel is definitely geared more towards Drugstore makeup, but I do want to dive into the higher end side. So if you guys recommend any good blushes from the high-end Drugstore high-end side, let me know. Oh my goodness. Okay, so for setting powders, of course, there's only one high-end setting powder that I will forever repurchase, and that is the One Size setting powder. I love this. I use the shade Ultra Peach or Translucent, whatever I'm in the mood for that day, honestly. It doesn't matter. I will just use whatever. For pressed blushes, I feel like these are some of the absolute best at the drugstore. Even though technically you can't find these at like Ulta, Walmart. But you can find them at Ulta in the drugstore section. The Juvia's Place Dual Blushes. This one is one of my favorites. It's a volume 2. This one is so pretty. They're so pigmented. I think they're maybe like $20, which is a little higher in the drugstore area, but you're getting 2 blushes. So technically you're paying $10 each, when you think about it that way, it's like, well, it's actually not that bad, because some Milani, even NYX, their blushes are like what, 11, 12, or 14, so they can get right up there in price. Pixie as well is like a higher end drugstore brand. So for me, Juvia's Place, just, I feel like it's still such an underrated brand because they offer such great quality products. For my drugstore highlighter, Essence Pure Nude Sunlighter is probably my most used palette highlighter. It is so pretty. I'm using the one that's a little darker. But this one is my absolute favorite. If you've been watching me, you know that this is like such a staple in my collection when I want a very natural, soft, glow from within look. This is what I'm going to reach for, okay? I will forever and ever repurchase this. And for a little more extra highlights, Miss Rare Beauty. Oh my gosh, this is the shade Accelerate. This is one of the best formulas in the market, in my opinion. It is so unique where it's very blinding, as you can see. It's a dry formula, so it's almost like baked as well, but it doesn't look dry. It doesn't look glittery. I don't know what and how she did this formula, but she did it. All right, she did it. She did her thing. Okay, lids are prepped. For my eyeshadow, oh my gosh, you guys, like, out of the probably hundreds of eye palettes that I have, literally, if I had to choose just one, this is insane because I don't even think they sell this palette anymore, but I would in a heartbeat buy the Jaclyn Hill X Morphe palette again. This is such an iconic palette, first of all. Second of all, you have almost every warm shade that you could ask for. And then if you want to get a little bit adventurous, you totally can. But oh my gosh, this palette, excuse me, it's just amazing. I'm starting off with the shade right here. This one, not sure the name of it, but I'm sure you guys can see it. And I'm going to take that into my crease, and I'm going to use this to blend it out. Or I'm going to use this and blend it out. I am going to dip into a different shade just to put it on top. I'm going to put this one on, which is a little more caramely. It's a little more brown. And that one is going to go in the upper crease. I'm just using that little fluffy brush to keep everything nice and diffused. I'm going to take a little bit of this like rustic orange shade. This is just going to add a little more warmth to the eyes and bringing in a little more brown. I genuinely don't know if they sell this palette or not, but I'm almost tempted to like buy another one. I know that palettes expire, but I'm like, I don't really care about that. But I'm like, just in case I ever do need to throw this one out, I need to make sure that I have another one on hand. I'm going to take this shade right here, and I am going to just lay that all over the lid, just because I don't want like a super white. And I don't know if I've used this shade. There's definitely a few shades in here that I don't think I've ever even really like touched. Like this one. This one looks like I never touched it. I'm sure every other shade I used at least once, but that one I don't think I've touched it, not even once. And then I'm going to take this shade. I think this one is called like Chocolate Chip. And I'm just smearing it right here closest to the lash line, like the outer lash line. And then blending it in, but I'm keeping it extremely, extremely low, as if this was going to be a little stencil for my eyeliner. So for lashes, I will continue to repurchase these over and over, and I have multiple times. These are the Juvia's Place Nubian Lash and Nefertiti. It is my absolute favorite lash. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop these on. I mean, these lashes, they speak for themselves because they're so beautiful. So beautiful. I love them so much. Okay, let's move on to the lipstick. I applied my lipstick off camera because I honestly could not like decide what is like one lipstick that I would purchase over and over again, because I have so many favorite nude lippies. But in case you guys want to know what I'm wearing, Sugar Pie has been my new favorite from Morphe. I guess Morphe and NYX would be like my top picks when it comes to lip liners and ColourPop. And then for my lipstick, I'm wearing this one from L'Oreal 984 Ultra Nude. I love this lipstick. Anytime I'm wearing a cool toned lippy or makeup, I always use this one. It's one of the very few cooler toned lipsticks that I own. But also Jason Wu has an amazing formula if you prefer a more like velvety finish. This one is in biscotti. It is so pretty. NYX, I think, is like the queen of lipsticks. Okay, so I'm not gonna choose one, but I just wanted to give some honorable mentions to some lipsticks because there's just so many. e.l.f, Juvia's Place, there's just too many to mention. But we're going to finish off today's look with setting the skin for my drugstore setting spray. I'm going to go with e.l.f. I think this is one of the best drugstore setting sprays that actually work, that locks in your makeup and it stays in place all day. This can make me a tiny bit oily, which is why I like to go in with my One Size Until Dawn setting spray. This will not only lock in my makeup, but it will also keep me a little bit more mattified throughout the day. So I'm gonna shake this up. Set the skin. I love the mist on this. And then I'm only gonna go in with a little bit of this because I'm literally not going anywhere today. And I don't use this unless I'm like going out or if I'm gonna be gone for most of the day. And this, guys, is a full face of drugstore and high-end makeup I will forever and ever repurchase. Oh my gosh, I love this. The skin looks amazing. The lips, the eyes, the lashes. Y'all, these lashes will literally elevate any look that you have. As you can see, my eye is pretty simple, but these lashes just like bring it from here to here. So that is it for me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Also, let me know if you guys are interested in seeing like a most viral makeup products video, like a full face of the most viral makeup products, because I'm thinking of doing something like that. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below what is your favorites and most repurchased drugstore and or high-end makeup. With that said, I am heading downstairs because I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat some dinner. I love you guys. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next video.